So today I'm going to teach you what you just saw, which was a variation of Boingy Boing. It's basically where instead of going out or over or under, you go in between the fingers. I've looked all over YouTube and I have not ever once seen a tutorial for this, so I'm going to make one today because it's a cool trick and I'm sure a lot of people want to know how to do it. 2 tricks you need to learn how to do before you want to attempt this. Boingy Boing, obviously, it's a hard trick, but once you get the hang of it, it's awesome. It's very rewarding. You also want to learn over-under Boingy Boing. Once you learn Boingy Boing, this is not a hard trick to learn. Another trick you would want to know before you attempt this is just your basic chopsticks. One side note about Boingy Boing: never give up on learning this trick. If you are having a hard time learning this, never give up. It's a hard trick and it takes a long time to learn, but just never give up. It's very rewarding in the end and it allows you to do so much when you learn it. Just don't give up on it. Whatever you do, do not give up. I was ready to give up and I didn't. I just kept going and I finally got it, so I do not give up on it. I'm just going to now assume that you know those 3 tricks. So basically, you do your Boingy Boing, you do the beginning of an over-under Boingy Boing. You might want to bounce it back and forth a few times. You want to take your thumb, put it inside this big loop, take your index finger, press it against this single string, and press your thumb against these 2 strings right here. Then basically all you're going to do is swing the yo-yo in between these 2 fingers, like that. So once again, when you get to your Boingy Boing, go under, take your thumb, put it in, switch the sides so that the index finger is pushing against the single string and the thumb is pushing against the doubles. Then you just basically take the yo-yo and swing it in between those 2. Now to make this easier, instead of forcefully underpassing it, because when you forcefully underpass, that will happen a lot, just relax and let it do it for you. Just sort of, when you're first doing this, instead of actually underpassing the yo-yo, use your fingers to underpass it like that. It's much easier and it just gets you used to that motion of getting under it. And sort of, to make it easier, keep the string on the tips of your fingers so that you can open it up more and give the yo-yo more space. You see, when you try to sort of pull it up, it will get on your finger and spin out. It's just not good. You just kind of want to hop it up. Instead of pulling it up, you want to just sort of hop it up in between your fingers. You just want to hop it instead of pulling it because it's a lot more risky and it's just not as smooth. It doesn't look as good. I'm just going to basically teach you, for right now, the basic in between the finger Boingy Boing, which is basically from there to there. Then later in the video I'll teach you the more advanced version. So once you get past here, you're basically just going to take the yo-yo, pop it over your thumb, and land it on the back string. So take it, pop it over your thumb, and land it on the back string. This is easier said than done, but just practice it and you'll get it smooth eventually. So once you're here, same with the last one, try not to force it, just sort of casually pop it up and relax your non-throw hand, because that really helps. With all the Boingy Boing tricks, just relaxing your hands really helps. And then once you get to the point where you can do that and that, you just basically want to keep practicing it until you get it smooth. When you're going to go for it full speed, when you get to this step, before you go to this step, it's a good idea to just do a few up and down motions here. This is where over-under Boingy Boing comes in handy. It's a good idea to just do this a couple of times and then prepare, get ready for it, and just do that. That's basically the basic version of it. And when you get done with this, pretty much all you have to do to restart the process is swing it over and you're back in this position, and you can just do as many times as you want. When you're starting out with this trick, if you have one, wear a yo-yo glove because it's really helpful in reducing the friction because you're going to hit your hands in the first few tries. And I also suggest having a yo-yo that has a really smooth finish, like this one drop benchmark. So just wear a yo-yo glove at first because it really is a lot easier when you use a yo-yo glove, and it lets you have more tries, because if you mess up, like if you hit the finger like that, it will just glide there for a longer time instead of just stopping. So yeah, wear a yo-yo glove the first couple of times, and then when you get better at it, take off the yo-yo glove and then try it like that. Overall, the basic version of this trick should look like this. The more extreme version that I showed you at the beginning, where it's kind of like this, I'm going to teach you that right now. So basically, all I'm doing at the beginning, I'm just putting it here and I'm doing an extra bounce on that front string. You really just have to relax your non-throw hand and just sort of do really gentle up and down motions with your throw hand. Just take it easy on this one. It's a hard maneuver, and I suggest using a smaller yo-yo if you're learning this because it's much easier. If you've mastered using the Mighty Flea or something like that, I would really suggest using this, or something like a Pop Star or a C3 Yo-Yo Design Token. If you have one of those, I would suggest using that because it's really a lot easier just to get it in between your fingers. But only use a Mighty Flea if you've mastered like the throw and actually getting used to it, because the Mighty Flea is a hard yo-yo to use, so unless you've mastered the throw, don't use it because it will just frustrate you because it will run out of spin time. Advanced version's harder. You basically just bounce it in between your fingers. Takes a lot of practice, but you basically are doing something like that. I learned this all on my own. There were no tutorials out, and I don't think there are any until now. So basically, when I started it, I just basically bounced it in between these two fingers like that. Tips, I would suggest angling your hand down like that instead of like this, because don't do it like that either, because your hand, the yo-yo is going to run into your hand if you do it like that. Just sort of make it at a diagonal angle, because that's the way the yo-yo naturally wants to go. So once you get that step done, where you go like that, you basically just do that again. And then this next part is the reverse of the basic version. Right now you're in a split bottom mount, so you can basically just go from here and practice it. But I suggest doing the first step so you can get used to it. But anyway, so when you're here, you just basically pop the yo-yo back over your thumb onto this string. And if you need some time to get used to it, you can do that forward and back motion like over under boingy boing sometimes before you go like that. Once you're here, you basically just go into here and then do a few of these. An easy way to get from here is actually just to pop the yo-yo up. This is a really good way to do this. Just basically have it like this, where it's really symmetrical. It'll just pop up into that string. And really, that's it. If you want to see some more advanced versions of this trick, there's this one guy, he is using a Duncan Echo, and the video is called Just Playing with My Duncan Echo. Go to Yo-Yo Expert, go to the Duncan Echo section, and then you'll see that video, and at the very beginning he's doing all these really advanced versions of this trick, so I suggest you look at that because it's really awesome, and I can't do them, so I suggest you watch those because it's really cool. There isn't really a name for this trick, I don't think, so I thought I would call it a pinball machine because it's always reminded me of of how it's like going all over the place in between stuff. I think it reminds me of a pinball machine, so I'm just gonna call it pinball machine. Other names I would call it would be Chopstic Boingy Boing or In Between the Finger Boingy Boing. I believe this is the first tutorial on this trick out there, so I hope people like this. And it shouldn't be hard to learn anymore, because a lot of people basically just either had to learn from other people, or which a lot of us aren't available to. Because I have a total of 2 other friends that are yo-yoers. One of them lives in Georgia, and the other one, I don't think he knows how to do this trick. So I hope this makes it easier to learn. And yep, that's about it. Thanks for watching.